It's showtime.
Hey, welcome to Did You Watch Survivor Last Night? My name is Jake Scheidel. This is a podcast about reality television and friendship in which I ask my best friend, Thomas Powell, if he did indeed watch a certain reality show. Hey, Thomas, how you doing tonight? Today?
Today.
It's the daytime.
Just, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
I got a real bad case of something.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
Is it cat scratch fever? 'Cause...
No.
Okay, that's good to hear.
No, it's not that.
What is
buddy,
it?
I think I need to see a mental health professional because I got a bad case of March Madness.
Oh my god. It's basketball day.
It's Selection Sunday, Jake.
It's Selection Sunday.
The Michigan basketball Wolverines have to play the Michigan State basketball Spartans in the Big Ten.
Oh, wait.
Big Ten championship, and then once those games wrap up, then the teams will be picked.
It's U of M versus
make
MSU for the Big Ten championship?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. What's I'm gonna watch that, I think.
Yeah, it's on at that's why we had to push our recording to 2 instead of 3 because that game's on and it's a big deal. I'm a
big deal for the Big Ten.
I'm a big Michigan fan, so I'm wearing my Michigan basketball T-shirt right now. Hopefully they don't lose a third time to Michigan State.
Oof.
But either way, they're both teams are definitely making the tournament and will be pretty highly seeded. So very exciting.
Every year for March Madness, around like December, January, I'm like, I should start looking at the teams this year, and then I never do enough.
It's less fun. It's less fun to do it that way.
Yeah. So it never works out in my favor when I do.
Yeah. So
I totally forgot about it this year. And I'm very excited that it's Selection Sunday. I fucking love March Madness.
Oh, it's the best. My recommendation to everyone is do not ever make a bracket. It is so much less fun.
But that's the whole point.
That's not the whole point. The whole point of March Madness is that there's a bunch of crazy stuff that can happen, and if you get mad because it happened because it ruined your bracket, like, what the fuck is the point of that?
Well, the bracket is separate for me from the watching of basketball games. Like, the bracket is just a fun competition between friends and family. It's like springtime Thanksgiving.
I get that. I just feel like having too much of a rooting interest. I feel this is kind of how I get with my bracket, where I'll like start to I want to be right about this stuff, so I'll like start to resent teams that won against my picks, where it's like I want to just watch it and enjoy what happens.
I can understand that.
So it's definitely better for me, but
yeah, that makes sense. I understand that. I just having basically no interest and coming from a very incredibly competitive family, making a bracket is part of the fun for me, and then also I get to watch some very fun basketball. So that's good. It's like cake with icing. You know that phrase?
Sure. That phrase that everyone is always using.
Flip it and reverse it, or reverse it and flip it. Huh?
I put down my thing, reverse it and flip it. As Elliot Missy once said.
That's my favorite president. President Elliot Missy. Thomas,
Elliot E. Miss.
Thomas, did you watch Survivor Edge of Extinction last night?
Jake, I am on the edge of extinction, hanging on a moment with you.
I don't know if you heard a few episodes ago, outside of the episode recording, you did do the Edge of Extinction to the Edge of Glory theme.
Yes.
And I put it at the very end of the episode. I don't know who stuck around to hear that, but, I put a few extra minutes into my editing to get that done.
I'll go back and listen to it. Was this, do you know exactly which episode this was?
I do not. You should probably just go back and listen to all of them.
Go back and listen to all of them all the way through. Yeah, I guess I should do that.
Yeah, starting from episode 1, so you get all of our Joey references.
I'm at the point of I do appreciate all the editing stuff that you do, but I am at the point of we've done this enough that I'm like, I don't I know what I did there. I'm just gonna leave it.
Yeah.
I don't need to listen to myself talk.
I go back and listen to it mostly just to see where I screwed up editing and like make note for next time. Okay.
Sure.
And you'll see that.
Yeah. If I was the one doing the editing, I would probably listen to it.
Yeah. And then I also do it to like keep track of our points each episode.
Yeah. See, that is important.
So that's what you've got to look forward to in this episode
Jake
of
does all the emotional
Did You
labor
Watch
of
Survivor
podcasts.
Last Night? Yeah, it's a lot of emotional labor when I'm trying to introduce the episode and you're talking over me.
And I'm
And
playing video games.
God damn it. I haven't said anything about it because I don't care enough, but it definitely is picked up on the mic.
I'm not playing video games right now. But
No, but I know when you are.
yeah.
What-
Because you'll hear like little clicky noises.
Yeah, the thing is, I can't hear it in my headphones, but then when you send me your audio, I can hear it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
no,
well-
it makes sense because it's not like I have the controller by my phone, so you wouldn't
Yeah.
hear it, but it is relatively close to my mic. You know I keep that thing on me.
Hey, I don't know if
Pulls out a PlayStation 3 controller.
Did you ever say yes or no to Did You Watch the episode?
Jake, I gotta tell you, send an ambulance this way because I've got a terminal case of March Madness.
Oh no, does that mean you missed it?
I was on a 48-hour oversight because I got dropped off at a local care facility for my March Madness.
Hey Thomas, what are you talking about?
Buddy, if love and basketball is a crime, then lock me up.
Okay.
Alright, yes, I did watch Survivor.
Jesus Christ. I think Edge of 17 probably stopped playing naturally by the time you answered that. We'll see when I put in the emotional labor of editing this episode. Anyway, this episode was called I Need a Dance Partner. What do you think of that episode title, Thomas?
Pretty good.
I agree. Do you remember the context of this episode title in the episode? Because I don't.
I don't either.
I
was
don't
gonna
either.
I was gonna ask you if you did.
I don't, but later on there will be some notes on it. So at Edge of Extinction, Reem and Keith are surprised to see Chris, and then they laugh at him when he complains about being betrayed. It's good.
That was great.
That is
Just
well
being like, I
deserved.
really felt like I was blindsided, and both of them just being like, "Oh yeah, that
Oh,
didn't feel
really?
good, did it?"
I like how Keith didn't hide his sarcasm at all.
Oh, it's great. Absolutely great. Well, what is there? I mean, what is there? There's no social aspect in terms of voting people off of that island, so you don't have to pretend to be nice to people.
Right, and I wonder if they know that, or if this is just what's the thing when frats put people through shit to
Hazing.
Yeah, if this is just hazing for new people on this island, which is I think that's a kind of a fun welcoming committee. Reem and Keith just be like, oh, boo-hoo, you got voted out. We've been here forever.
Jake, hazing is a very serious problem, and I do not appreciate that.
Sorry.
That you endorsed that tactic.
Sorry.
Bullying is wrong.
Hazing is not bullying. Hazing is part of the game of Survivor.
Smash cut to a bunch of newspaper stories about people dying by being hazed at colleges and on sports teams.
Yeah, it's a joke. You guys don't do that.
Jake Scheidel resigns in disgrace from podcast.
Who's gonna edit this episode then?
Promises to do better.
I'm sorry. You can cancel me anytime.
Jake, you're fucking canceled, buddy.
Yeah, it's fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Over on Manchester United, Wendy put the flint back. Then David found it, and then she calls herself a wild card. I think Wendy is the best person on this whole season.
Wendy absolutely is a wild card.
I love her. She's my favorite.
She's very entertaining. She is like a child.
Oh, it's great.
She's like a big child.
Yeah, she's Big Wendy. That's why they call her that. She's a big
Wendy.
child. I love
Big Child. Wouldn't Big Child be a good rap name?
Big Child's Play.
It's your boy, Big Child.
If Wendy makes it to Final Tribal Council and calls her strategy Big Child's Play, I will be very happy.
That's on the podcast Chapo Trap House. They had to incorporate at a certain point because they make enough Patreon money, and
What?
yeah,
Wow.
but the name of their corporation is Large Sons Productions, which is great.
That's good. Cool. Big Wendy. Love her. So everybody on Manchester United wants to take out Wendy next. Air quotes around that, because who knows if that's actually true. Because at the
Air quotes around next because folks were bringing it back.
reboot next, we've said MTV, we will co-host the show. That was the problem with the original Next. There was no host.
We weren't involved.
It was that we were 13 years old and not involved in the
Yeah.
production.
I can't believe that they didn't get 13-year-old us to be involved with the production of Next.
I can't believe they didn't get... Wait, how old were people on that show? Like teens or like early 20s?
They were like early 20s, I think.
Okay. Well, I think by the time we were in our early 20s, the show had been canceled entirely, which is why they never put us on.
The show had been deemed problematic and canceled.
Not a surprise. But you know what? We're bringing it back. Oh no! Here's what we're doing. We're bringing back Room Raiders first. One of us is going to host it.
Do you remember those like Tumblr posts that were like?
Let me finish my business plan.
Okay.
Hey, this is going to be a long episode, folks.
Oh no.
We bring back Date My Mom, and one of us hosts it. We bring back the other one, Room Raiders, I said, and the other one of us hosts it. And then we come together and host Next together, and it's like a whole universe of daytime dating shows on MTV.
The MTV Extended Universe.
It's a great idea. MTV, why aren't you listening?
It certainly is an idea.
A great one at that. We can all agree this is a great idea. What, do you not want to host Date My Mom? If you really want to host Room Raiders, I'll give you Room Raiders. But, I mean, it's like I've been thinking a lot about hierarchies recently.
Sure. As we all do.
And I think there needs to be a better hierarchy for the challenge. I think the challenge should be like the peak, and the challenge champion, the peak of peaks. And then you work your way up from like Date My Mom to Next to, I don't know, X on the Beach or something. And then you get to like a major reality show, and then you're on the challenge. So this is my idea for MTV. You can find me on Twitter at Jake Scheidel. Thanks. Okay, so the two tribes meet up at the next challenge, and Kama is surprised to see Chris is gone, and then Jeffrey Probst tells them to drop their buffs, and then they break up into 3 tribes, with the only person being on a new tribe being Wendy. Big Wendy. Actually, Big Wendy is still on her same tribe, but she has all new tribe mates, which means she's king of Manchester United now.
This was fun that like the only thing that changed basically was that Wendy escaped a situation where she was almost assuredly going to be voted off.
I know that the producers probably had like a very big hand in orchestrating this.
I mean, probably, yes.
It's just like too convenient.
It is extremely convenient for her.
God, I really want to believe that it's just fate. It's so good. Okay, and then back on Kicking a Man's Ass tribe, Joe reiterates that he's trying to build strong relationships this time around, so he tries to align with Ron, and Ron really plays it up, because while they are talking, Julia is looking through Joe's bag for an idol. This was a smart plan. This was a good play.
Yeah, very much so.
I don't really like Ron, don't really know much about Julia, but smart to do that. Anyway, Ron says about Joe, he's pretty confident in that he's going to be an easy target. Excuse me. Ooh. Hey, excuse me.
Better watch what you say there.
Why?
because you shouldn't say that you're confident.
Oh, well, that's why I brought it up, because Ron said it about Joe. So I don't know what the rules are on that. I guess we'll find out. But I'm thinking
that is tough. Yeah.
I'm thinking it means Ron is. I think they've caught on to our catching on of the word confident. So now they're twisting it on us. So now
That's
maybe
crazy.
if you call somebody else confident, then you're the one going home. You know?
Yeah. I see what you mean there.
I burped a little bit ago because my drink was bubbling up in my stomach. So I think now is a good time to do a bottle check, Thomas.
Yes.
What are you drinking over there in Grand Rapids, Michigan?
Excuse me, I just had to take a sip.
Well, yeah, you got to get a recent sip in so you can give a perfect review.
Just a little Uptime original.
Ooh, the black one?
Yes, the beautiful. The graphic design on that is really nice. It's very clean.
Yeah, it's just like the blood drop with the. Is it a bottle like silhouette inside, or is
Yes.
it the
Yeah, there's that. There's like the little U that inside the drop or whatever, and then it's got the logos for like brain. There's a guy running, and then there's like a lightning bolt, like energy. It's all very clean. I'm a big fan of the aluminum bottles as well.
Yes.
Just in general.
Yes. Which came first, the aluminum bottles of Uptime or the aluminum bottles of, was it Coors Light? Who started doing that? Who stole from who is the question I'm asking.
I feel like my first encounter with aluminum bottles was there were Cokes that they did in that, and I believe
that was a while ago, right?
Yes, it was quite a while ago, and I believe that Coke Black, the coffee Coke thing that they made, was in those.
I feel like we bring him up a lot on this show, but the only time I ever had Coke Black was at Nate Baldwin's house. It was
it makes perfect sense.
They had a fridge in their garage that was always filled with Coke and only Coke, but like different variations of Coke.
Yeah, I feel like they had like A&W sometimes.
Oh sure, but it was like generally just Coke and like variations on Coke. I remember, or maybe Pepsi.
Yeah,
was that like vanilla Coke? I don't know. It was really big at the time.
Vanilla Coke and Pepsi Blue came out at the same time. Do you remember Pepsi Blue?
I do. It is such a long time ago.
I'm gonna look up Pepsi Blue for a description of it.
You as you do that, I'm gonna go through the rest of this episode.
I just typed into Google. I just typed in Pepsi BL, and it's Pepsi Blue, sure. Pepsi Black for the suggested results. Pepsi Black History Month.
Cool. Very curious about that.
Yeah, definitely want to know how Pepsi relates to that. Jesus Christ.
Does Pepsi sponsor the Black History Museum in Washington, D.C.? That would be a funny reality to live in.
Crazy. Wow, this is an extremely 2002 bottle I'm looking at here. Pepsi Blue is a berry-flavored soft drink produced by PepsiCo. I remember this sucking. I remember it being really bad.
It's berry-flavored?
Yeah, the flavor of Pepsi Blue was described by Pepsi only as berry, and described by drinkers as like blueberries or raspberries, or similar to cotton candy with a berry-like aftertaste.
What?
Much more sugary and syrupy than regular cola. Yeah, it was really bad.
I don't want to try this anymore.
Oh my god! Although heavily promoted by PepsiCo, including advertisements by pop singer Britney Spears and the bands Sev, not familiar with that, and Papa Roach, very familiar with that.
Oh my god!
As well as in the movies The Italian Job and Garfield the Movie. This is the most fucking 2002 shit imaginable. So it is widely seen as a commercial flop as sales remained low, even with the failure of Pepsi Blue. PepsiCo still managed to post double-digit growth.
Great, good for them.
Yeah, bailing up, baby. Pepsi Blue is also endorsed by Adam Vinatieri, the then New England Patriots kicker. Oh, I gotta get some now.
I totally forgot that was even a person. That's great. I'm drinking Highball Energy Blood Orange flavored. It's my favorite energy drink. Sorry, Uptime. I only get it when I go to Whole Foods because it's the only place that sells it. And I went to Whole Foods yesterday because I was picking up some cheese for a grilled cheese. The grilled cheese was phenomenal, by the way. And
I'm glad to hear that.
And now this Highball Energy is... What if we get Uptime and Highball to compete for sponsorship?
I don't know, man. Jake, have you been... I'm not super into it, but have you been drinking that Bang Energy? Because that's like the new hot energy drink.
I have had it a couple of times. They
have a bunch of flavors.
I don't love it. Yeah,
I'm not that into it.
When energy drinks come out and have a bunch of flavors, I've noticed that they are generally not good. Like Uptime, I think is really good because they have like 2 flavors and one of them is sugar-free.
Yeah, it's just regular and sugar-free. That's how you should launch every energy drink.
Yeah.
There should be a base flavor.
This Highball energy drink, I think, has 4 flavors, and then they have like hydrating water, like sparkling water, which is not good, but...
You know what energy drink also has too many flavors? Balls Guarana. You may remember from an episode a long time ago where I read all of the copy from... all the ad copy from their site.
God. You know, sometimes I think, why do people listen to this show? And then I remember, oh, they don't.
Quality content like that is why the 5 people that listen to this have stuck around. Or maybe not stuck around.
Hey,
maybe we just have 5 different people listening every week.
That would be amazing. It's the beginning of the season, and we have seen growth this season, so... hopefully they all stick around.
We it may be a failure, but we are posting double-digit growth, just like Pepsi Blue.
Lauren dry heaves at the Lesu beach, and then she cries a lot over on Manchester United. We need to figure out a nickname for Lesu, because we have Manchester United, we have kicking a man's ass, but Lesu, I mean, they're not going to be around for too long, so maybe we don't need
Lower East Side University.
That's too long. That's not a real thing, I don't think. We don't have to come up with it right now. I'm just saying we should figure it out. We should think on it and figure it out. Back over on Manchester United, the new Manchester United, Wendy gives a tour of the camp to the new people. Thomas, you are a big sports fan, as we learned.
True.
Every episode of this show.
People may not know that about me, but I do love sports.
And you don't care who knows.
I don't care who knows.
Has there ever been a situation on like a major sports team where nearly the entire team is traded or let go in some way except for one person, be it a coach or a player? Or any similar situation to that that's like well known?
It is very rare that there is ever that level of turnover. The closest thing that I could say to that is if there's an expansion team, because they obviously by necessity have to have completely new players. So leagues will have an expansion draft where they have their pick. Teams protect a certain number of players, and the ones they don't protect can be picked by the expansion team.
Okay.
In an expansion draft.
I always wondered how expansion teams work. Like, do they just bring up
Usually
a bunch of like?
Usually they'll do 2 at the same time. The last time that the NBA expanded, though, I think it was just 1. I think just the Charlotte Bobcats did it. But usually you'll have 2 teams, which is why it'll be a draft format, because they'll alternate picking between the available players.
Okay, interesting. I've always wondered about expansion teams because it doesn't happen often enough, and I don't pay attention to like the. It's
been a long time. I know there was the Las Vegas hockey team is the most recent.
Yeah, the Knights.
Like major sport.
Yeah,
the Golden Knights.
The Golden Knights. Excuse me.
Yeah,
I know about them because I follow TJ Levin on Twitter.
Oh, is he a big?
He's a big hockey fan.
Big
Yeah, and he
fan?
lives in Vegas. So he loves them Golden Knights. They do have a really cool logo, though. I don't follow hockey very closely, but I do like the Golden Knights logo.
No, they did a good job with that.
Anyway, Aubrey calls Wendy an easy target until Wendy spills all kinds of beans and Aubrey starts to think that she might be an asset. The new Manchester United people also want to kill chickens, so at night, Wendy releases the chickens. Because she is, in her own words, a wild card. I love Wendy so much. She's so good.
She is, in fact, good. This was crazy, though. She probably should not have done this.
No, absolutely she should not have, but I love that she did. It's so funny.
I mean, it is great.
God, she is prime for a returner slot in a future season. I'm sure the producers love how she is in this season. I'm very excited to see what happens with her. I hope she doesn't get voted out soon. Okay, over on Edge of Extinction, Keith considers raising the mask. Chris calls this voluntary torture, which I think would have made a good episode title. Better than whatever they did pick.
Voluntary torture, that's just like... That's just, don't kink shame people. That's just kink shit.
Christopher. Stupid.
How dare he?
So Chris catches a couple fish, and at this point in my notes I wrote, they have fun, thinking, I'll definitely remember what this is referring to, but guess what? I don't. I don't know why I wrote in my notes that the people on the edge of Extinction Island are having fun.
Listen, buddy, they have fun.
They have fun, and that's all that's important.
At the end of the day, they have fun.
That's what this game is about. It's a game. It should be fun. Survivor ain't fun. Going on a cruise is fun. Had to say it. Over on Manchester United, Eric figures out that Wendy had let the chickens go. Victoria says, "You'd rather die?" Nope. She does not say that.
You would rather us literally murder you. No, she said you'd rather be voted off. That's what it was, right?
You'd rather get voted out than see a chicken die. That's bizarre. That's not someone you align with.
It's one of them holding a gun.
You'd rather die than eat some chicken? Hey, we say it all the time. It's called Survivor for a reason. Oh, give me 2 seconds to type something. Hey, Thomas, what do you think of this season so far?
Pretty good. I would say it is an above average season.
I would say so far. I mean, it's still way too early to say that. Early.
But I mean, as far as like a pre-merge thing,
yeah.
the theme is not intrusive, which is good.
Yes.
Because more often than not, the theme is bad and the worst part of the season.
Yes, absolutely. I think this season depends a lot on how this twist will be revealed and implemented. If it is a disaster, I think this season will not be well regarded as good as this pre-merge season has been.
Yeah, that's true. They are. We have yet to see if they can stick the landing on whatever the payoff for the island is going to be.
I mean, I love seeing people like struggling like this. It's been a long time since we've seen this kind of thing on this show, and I know that was their goal in creating this twist. But yeah, I'm still nervous about it.
You know what the best possible payoff for that could be?
What?
Is if Extinction Island just is a red herring, and they're like, oh, actually, you guys just have to go home now?
Yeah. If they, like, put them through
This was actually a prank.
They put them through a really difficult endurance challenge while the final three just, like, sits there and watches them, and, like, none of them actually succeed in the challenge. There's some way that they, like, are unable, and then it's just like, all right, well, that was it.
Jeff shows up right around the merge and is like, you've been waiting it out on Extinction Island, but I have some exciting news for you. And everyone's like, oh my god, one of us is gonna be able to go back. And Jeff goes, you've been pranked.
I'm bringing Punked back.
This is a launch of my new prank show.
Okay, let's get into this immunity challenge. They have to go over some ramps, but it is difficult because it just started raining. And then there's also a puzzle at the end. Kama continues to kick men's asses. Manchester United gets their first immunity win, which sends Lesu, the old Manchester United, to Tribal Council. Then Kelly calls them the Cleveland Browns of Tribes.
That's actually a good comparison because they were losers before, and then
they got Odell Beckham Jr.
No, they were losers before, and then they switched. You know, they were reborn as a different team, and then that team also sucked. Because the Browns moved to Baltimore and were gone for a while, and then they made an expansion Browns team, and then that team was even worse.
Oh, you're saying not even in the last few years. You're talking like in the history of the.
In the history of them, yeah. So the Browns is actually an extremely good comparison.
Kelly. I feel like Kelly is, of all the returning players, the most likely to win at this point, I think. Because she's...
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they're editing her more than any other returnee.
I feel like David's had a bit of an edit. I think he's still got a chance.
A little bit, but...
Do you think maybe the fact that Aubrey hasn't had much, they're trying to trick you? Because I could see that being a thing.
Yes, I could definitely see that. But the Rising from the Ashes story, I know, is a story they love, and Kelly Wentworth having to go to every single one of the tribal councils, and being a target at every single one, is a really compelling story for a winner.
It sure is. And
it wouldn't be the first time they do that, so I would not be surprised. And everybody wants to see Kelly win, so...
It's true.
Okay, so over on Lesu, everybody hems and haws about who to vote for. David and Rick agreed to not vote for each other. They want to vote out Lauren because she has been sick, and they assume that Kelly has the idol. But actually, Lauren is the one who has the idol. So Lauren and Kelly decide to target Rick. So War Dogs is, as he says, in the classic swing vote spot, and that he is always thinking.
He's about to cry havoc and let loose the wars of dogs.
I wish I could like War Dog.
Yeah, I feel like he's playing a reasonably good game. I don't care. I feel like he's kind of like Brad Culpepper in that respect.
I like him more than Brad Culpepper.
I also like him more than Brad Culpepper, but like he's a solid player, but I just don't. I have no investment in him.
Yeah, exactly. I feel the exact same way about him. It's like he's a good player, and I forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, it's time for wildlife shots.
Oh, there was a really good one this week.
Yes, there was. I'm wondering if it is the same one that I was thinking of.
Well, you say it and I'll tell you
okay.
if it was.
So there were fish as usual. There was a heron. There was a Roland the bat. He is your son. There was a snake as usual. And I'm pretty sure we have talked about this animal before, but it is one of my favorite animals we've ever talked about. So, talking about it again, was the big blue octopus. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I was saying I like that they had the snake just before Tribal Council.
Oh, I mean, they always have a snake right before Tribal Council.
It's just good editing.
Yeah, no, it's great. The problem with snakes is they're surprisingly hard to research. Like, birds and fish are fairly easy for whatever reason. Birds are a lot easier than fish, but snakes are so hard, and there's... Generally, they only show, like, one type of snake on this show. So that's why I don't feature them as much. But if there's a really cool one, I do like researching snakes. What is your opinion on snakes overall?
I am mostly pro-snake.
Yes, I would agree, but I do get like a little nervous around snakes.
There was a very good video on Twitter I saw recently that just was like the opposite of a cat, and it was a snake that was like wrapped around a box and was like circling around it
great.
As opposed to being in it.
That's really good.
So I was like, that's fun. The snake was just having a fun time.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, I think snakes are cool generally.
I feel the same way about snakes that I do about spiders, which is like I generally am cool with them.
Yeah.
To a point.
Yeah.
If they're very poisonous, then that's where I'm not.
Yep, I agree. You know what's not poisonous, probably, is the big blue octopus, this week's
hell yeah.
Doubly featured wildlife shot. It is also called the day octopus. They can be found in the Indian and Pacific Oceans, anywhere from Hawaii to the east coast of Africa. And it can change color, which makes it ultimately cooler than any other animal that can't do that.
They are aliens that were sent to destroy us, but they're
just like too
octopuses
chill.
don't really have like any sense of community, so they don't team up together. They're smart animals, but like they just can't organize to destroy us. So instead, they just hang out and eat fish.
Hey, I know you don't want to talk about Doctor Who, but you know the Daleks?
Boy, you read the room.
You know the Daleks are like squid creatures that created like this metal mechanism to live in and attack with. I think that the last episode was about a Dalek who came to Earth. Anyway,
boy, you are really losing me.
I think octopus are just actual Daleks that are just
what's like another thing we could talk about that I would lose interest this fast if you were like, this octopus is like Hamilton. Be like, oh boy, I've already stopped listening.
Okay, let me tell you about this octopus. It was once observed changing color 1,000 times in 7 hours. That's very good.
Extremely fucking cool.
They hunt for food and will eat whatever they catch instantly, unless it is fairly big, in which case they will carry it back to their den, which is very good. The male will mate with several females, and then its suckers will expand for 2 to 3 months until it dies.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Folks, this is a PSA against being poly. This is what happens, okay? I didn't want to tell you, but this is you can't have a polycule, otherwise all of your genitals will swell up and then you'll die.
Who was that hair metal singer in the 80s who claimed his penis exploded from having too much sex?
Was it Vince Neil?
Maybe. I don't remember.
The guy from Motley Crue?
I think it was somebody from Motley Crue, yeah.
Yeah.
It was, if it wasn't Motley Crue, it was a similar band.
Yeah, no, wasn't the claim that he, like, broke his dick having sex?
I heard it, like an...
I feel like... oh, Jesus, that is a terrifying mental image.
I'm so sorry I said that out loud.
The thing is, if that happened, you would bleed to death. That's the thing about that.
That's why I didn't believe it when it.
Yeah, I don't. That's like one of those. That's an urban legend. I think that's like the Rod Stewart having like 100 gallons of semen pumped out of him or whatever thing.
What?
It's like that didn't happen.
At one
like
time?
the Richard Gere hamster thing. Like I think they're just urban
that one's
legends.
real. That one's real.
I think the
Marilyn Manson one is real.
Yes, the Marilyn Manson one. These are all the Steve from Blue's Clues dying one, which was very easily refuted. These are all things that, like, before the internet was like, I mean, you still get this, but like that was at a time when you couldn't easily like check these things on the internet, so they would just spread.
The craziest thing is all of those stories spread. Like, everybody has a memory of learning that Marilyn Manson removed ribs to suck his own dick.
This was like pre-internet memes.
Like, I live in the third biggest city in the country, and I talk to people who like are my own age from completely different parts of the country, and they're like, yeah, of course, everybody knows that. It's like, how? We were all on the internet. I mean, some of us were on the internet in the 90s, but not everybody.
This was a couple of years ago now, but there was somebody when I was working like that, I was just randomly talking to, just like a customer, mentioned the Pop Rocks and Coke thing, like, seriously, and I had to explain to them that was an urban legend.
Wait. Oh, sorry, I was thinking of Mentos, and I was like, no, I've seen, like, videos of that. That's
Bro, that's not real.
Why is everybody
sorry.
doing the same
I'm sorry that
trick?
you believe everything you see on video. Like, that couldn't be CGI. I'm like a flat earther, but for the Mentos and Diet Coke video. No, the thing where it's like somebody drank Coke after eating Pop Rocks and their stomach exploded.
Yeah. Not real. You know what is real? You know what is a real scientific fact? The female day octopus stays by her eggs until they hatch, and then she dies. So, yeah.
This is really macabre.
Right? I was so excited to look up these octopi. Octopuses is actually...
This makes me sad, because they're cool animals, and I don't want them to die.
Really cool.
Like, these animals should be Volcel. They should be celibate so they don't die.
They're like jellyfish. They only live like 15 or 18 months or something like that.
That's crazy. Yeah. I thought a lot of octopus species live for a long time.
Yes, not this one, though. You want to get into this tribal council?
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do it.
Jeff makes Rick Devens do a news report about the tribe.
Rick Devens is such a great newscaster name.
Isn't it? I think that's
Rick
his real
Devens.
name. I'm going to look this up real quick.
I'm a bigger Devin Ricks fan, personally.
Rick Devens. Of course, everything comes up for the season. For Survivor. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I think it's his real name. I don't know how I would find out if it's not.
But it's actually an urban legend that that's his name.
Rick Devens got his ribs removed so he could go on Survivor. Everybody knows this. I think on a bad season, Rick Devens would be really annoying. Like, if Rick Devens had been on One World, Joe's original season, I would not be able to stand Rick Devens. But on this fairly good...
Which would he be in? Would he be white collar, blue collar, or no collar?
I think he would be...
I don't think a newscaster job is strictly white or blue collar.
I think it would be no collar, because it's like a different schedule than anything else.
It would be
right?
that or white collar, because I guess it's a professional job. Like, you have to have a degree for it.
Yeah, but it's also like production, like media production, which is...
Yeah, it's not like you're like an executive
Yeah.
or like a doctor or something like that.
Yeah. Where would a podcaster be on that season?
No collar,
Definitely
baby.
no collar. I do have an office job, though.
Just Mark
so-
Maron. Mark Maron on the no collar tribe. Like, who are you guys? That's how he asks about people's alliances.
Celebrity Survivor, make it happen. A lot of celebrities want to play, but they don't do what
Celebrity
all
Survivor
celebrities
would
do.
actually be really cool.
It would be cool, but they just throw celebrities in like normal people. They should
Yeah,
do a
and
season
then
that's celebrities
Proceeds
versus
go to a
non-celebrities.
charity of their choice.
They should do a season that's like fans versus favorites, but celebrities versus non-celebrities who have never played before. Both tribes. Or maybe not. Maybe mix them up. Who cares?
This season, I'm a celebrity, get me out of the show Survivor.
Yeah, but like do like legit celebrities. Like Brad Culpepper, I think, is a solid celebrity to be on Survivor. Don't get fucking Spidey. Spencer and
look,
Heidi, not
Yeah.
Spider-Man. Get Spider-Man on
Spider-Man.
Survivor. New hashtag.
Get Spider-Man on Survivor. Look, if they don't do a celebrity Survivor season, Naked and Afraid is going to beat them to it, so...
Yeah. They will. Look, they... Yeah, okay. Okay, what are we talking about? Kelly cries about having to vote out one of the 4 of them. There's 5 of them. I think other than herself. Anyway, Rick says they only have each other in this game. David says that you will find things in this game more important than the $1 million. Watching this, I have to assume they're all playing this up, right? Like, everybody knows what side everyone is on except for War Dog, but everybody kind of knows which side War Dog is on.
Yeah,
Right?
I feel like people are usually... Yeah, either, like, really playing up what they're going to do or being very coy about it, so...
Yeah, because, like, David and Kelly know they're going for each other, I have to assume.
Yeah, they do.
They don't have a strong, like, social relationship that we've seen up to this point. So I found that odd. I mean, I can understand that they've been through all of this together, but it's like, I don't know, we haven't seen them be friendly with each other for the most part.
It really is a shame that these people have to vote each other out all the time, because it does seem like they all like each other.
Yeah. Again, that's what makes this season good. I think they finally realized, like, casting really likable people makes for good television. But then you get less villains, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm more into this version of it. I don't need
Me too.
there to be like a big villain.
I think if there's a good villain who's like good at playing the game, I can like respect that and will be into watching that. But yeah, like if it's just 18 really likable people, like that's fun too.
Yeah, that's the best recipe for a season.
Yeah. But man, I do miss seeing Russell. You know, Russell was great. Not enough villains recently. Who was the last really big villain? There wasn't really anybody. I mean, like there was Christian last season, but that was like a personal villain for us.
Yeah, that
He
wasn't
was pretty
really
well liked by everybody else, and other than him, there was nobody.
I guess the
Like
last
Chris
big.
Noble?
Yeah, Chris Noble's probably the last big one.
But he was an early merge.
He was. I think Scott and Jason are probably the most notable villains
I think
in recent memory.
Yeah.
Chris Noble, though, definitely deserves credit.
Like,
there were a couple weeks where like he dominated the episodes because of how annoying he was.
Yeah. Yeah. But hey, then he came back for Heroes vs. Villains too. And
hell yeah, baby.
And he won the fan favorite, and now
did some emotional raps.
Okay, so they vote Lauren does not play her idol, which was a bit of a surprise, but not entirely. Lauren, Rick. So Rick's out of here.
This was like, it was a bummer. They showed Rick and Lauren when they were writing their votes, and they were both like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah. It was too bad, but the good news is Rick walks up to the fork in the road and silently grabs the torch and makes his way to the edge of extinction, which is exciting. I like seeing everyone's different reaction to
that's been the most fun part of it, honestly.
Yeah. I like how Rick was just like, fuck yeah, I'm doing this. Just goes straight through.
Yeah, it's been a nice range of emotions where it was like the first two were just kind of overwhelmed, then Chris was like mad. Like he was like, fuck you, I'm doing this, and then Rick was just like silently accepted it.
Yeah. I'm very excited to see the reaction on the island, because I don't think anybody expects to see him yet.
No, I was very surprised he got voted off this early.
Okay. Here are my mom's thoughts on Survivor.
Oh, yes, good.
She texted me 10 minutes before I called you. I didn't even ask her for it. She just knew that I knew.
She knows, so yeah.
Yeah. I did tell her that we were doing this now, and she's like, okay, good. I'll like, know what to say and everything. So here's what she says. My thoughts on Survivor, parenthetically, should anyone care to hear them, ... That was one text.
Sure.
I find myself rooting for Wendy, the misfit underdog. Lauren misses her family. What is this? Only the 8th night? What a capital B-A-B-Y. That was one text. Here's another text. Lesu equals losers. So we
we should call them the loser tribe.
Yeah. And we talked about this earlier. Another text from her. I hate that they named this episode after a quote from War Dog.
Oh boy.
I love that my mom hates War Dog.
It's good.
The challenge was exciting. I was so happy to see that Lesu lost again. I guess they can't blame Wendy on their losses since she's on a different tribe now. My mom doesn't care who she pisses off. She knows who's winning. Wendy is winning the season.
I think your mom would be good at Survivor.
I think my mom would be very good at Survivor. I was sad to see Rick go. Wish it was War Dog or Kelly Wentworth. I'm curious to see what is going to happen to the people on Extinction Island.
I'm surprised your mom wants Kelly Wentworth to go.
I am too. I'm gonna call her when I'm done.
Just yell at your mom about it.
Well, no, we're definitely gonna talk about Survivor now. Those are my thoughts. Those are all of my thoughts for now. Bye, and I love you. And then another text a few minutes later. P.S. I took notes while I watched this time. And then the green check mark.
This is great. This is my new favorite segment on the show.
I know. It's very fun. Yeah. Okay, let's get into these points that we won this week. You got a point for Kelly surviving, a point for Joe surviving, a point for kicking a man's ass, winning the immunity challenge, and for Rick going to the edge of extinction. So you are now at 18 points. I got a point for David surviving, a point for Aubrey surviving, a point for kicking a man's ass, winning reward, a point for Rick going to Extinction Island, and a point for Rick getting voted out. So I'm now at 22 points.
Wow. Strong start.
Yep. I'm really hoping the merge goes my way, because I'm nervous that this is all going to go downhill. Okay. Let's bet on some people next week. This week. Who's winning the reward challenge?
I think that I'm going to say Manu wins the reward challenge.
Okay. I'm going to say Kicking a Man's Ass continues their winning streak. What's the reward going to be?
Was there even a reward this week?
No, they just swapped.
Yeah, that's right. I think I said hamburgers last time, so I'm going to say that again.
You did. I said tools to build a shelter. They're now 4 tribal councils in. Don't think it's going to be that this week.
That it is going to be now that you said that, though.
I know. Okay. I think it will be quesadillas.
Well, sure.
Who's winning immunity?
I'm gonna pick Kicking a Man's Ass again.
You gotta pick Kicking a Man's
It's
Ass.
a safe choice.
You've got to pick Kicking a Man's Ass every time. Who's getting voted out, though?
I think... So the remaining people on Lesu are what? Wardog,
Kelly, Lauren, and
David.
David.
Lauren. I think that Wardog is going to get voted off.
That's who I was going to say. I think Wardog is going to be gone next, too.
I think they might target Lauren, and I think she's going to play her idol if they do.
I was thinking the exact same thing. They're going to target Lauren or Wardog.
Lordog. If they were in an alliance, that's what that name would be.
I think David can convince Kelly to vote for Wardog.
I do too.
And then Lauren plays her idol. And it might be unnecessary. But yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I think Wardog's going out. And I think we're both saying yes, he goes to Extinction Island.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt there.
Yeah. Okay. Let me go tell you about the challenge real quick. Leroy is mad that Cam is flirting with Theo, even though the two of them are not together. And then the challenge involves 10 tires being dragged behind a monster truck, and then the competitors have to hop from one to the next while releasing each one as they hop off of it. The winning teams were Hunter and Georgia, Wes and Dee, and Kyle and Maddie. Then they go out to a bar and party. Cam and Theo are still flirting a lot, so Leroy talks to her and she turns him down. And then in a talking head, Turbo said, 2 men want the same women. They will fight. Maybe someone will die.
Will someone fly, though?
Turbo continues to be the best part of this season.
Yeah, Turbo's cool. Will someone fly and someone die, though?
That's the question. The teams nominated for elimination are Amanda and Josh, Devon and Bear, and Polly and Natalie. Devon and Bear are voted in. They call out Leroy and Shailene, whom they beat.
Not surprising.
So, yeah. Shailene did not pull her weight in that elimination. Unfortunately. It doesn't look like she's going to be back on the challenge because I think she was in one scene that wasn't her elimination all season.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
It's not a good sign.
Also, I don't know if you saw this. I think I meant to send it to you, but forgot. There was an article written about the challenge by NBA Hall of Famer Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
What?
Yeah. I think it was for the Hollywood Reporter. He talks about the season as a whole and seeing how these people develop throughout. And he looks at like CT and is like, yeah, CT back in the day was a hothead when he started appearing on the show in 2003, and he's evolved into like, you know, a mainstay of the house and like this caring older guy, whereas Johnny Bananas has not done that, even though he's been on the show almost as long. It's a very good piece.
I will definitely read that.
A very short read. If I remember to, I'll post it to our Twitter.
I like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, so I'm excited.
Yeah, our Twitter is DYWSLN. So you can, if I remember, I'll post it there. So we were talking about March Madness earlier, and you were discussing your enjoyment of the sport. And I've been thinking about this a lot, and in this episode it's definitely going to be more than an hour now. I have a theory on what separates this Survivor podcast from other Survivor podcasts. So I want to ask you this question to see if it confirms my theory. When you watch Survivor, do you watch it with the attention to detail and interest that you do with a basketball game? Or do you watch it?
Absolutely not.
That's what I thought. That's what I figured.
I watch Survivor much more casually.
I figured you did. And I think based on other, like listening to other Survivor podcasts, I think I watch it a little more intensely than you do, but I think
I mean, you were just at that Bulls game with me. Like, I will comment on like literally every possession with what happens. Like, oh, bad look, don't take that shot.
Yeah. I think most Survivor podcasts watch the game of Survivor the way you watch a game of basketball. Whereas I think this podcast, and it's taken me 3.5 years to figure this out, we watch the show as an entertainment program.
Yeah. That's what it is. I mean, I the strategic stuff is fun, but I feel like you can overanalyze this sort of thing.
Yes, and that's why we see people like who are huge fans go into the show and like completely burn out in the first or second episode.
Sometimes you just want to see what happens. Like, I don't necessarily need to think too much. I mean, it's fun to talk about the edit and stuff like that, but it's also like, I feel like you kind of ruin it for yourself if you're speculating on that, because if you're right and you figure it out super early, then like, what is the point of watching the rest of the show?
Right. Yeah. I forgot what I was gonna say. But yeah, it's like what you were saying earlier with just like when you're like making a bracket and you have like a vested interest in a certain team winning, because that's just how you watch basketball. That's going to be like, people watch Survivor in that same way.
Yeah, they do.
And we don't so much. We talk about Pepsi Blue for 10 minutes in the middle of discussing the episode.
Yeah, that's as it should be.
Which, that's a pocket that's not really filled by a lot of Survivor podcasts. So you're welcome.
Yeah, we're more than just a Survivor podcast.
And that's why the two people who have listened to this show, who have been on the show Survivor, went on to win, and those are Adam and Wendell, because they understand that this is an entertainment program as well, and they successfully made it entertaining while also playing a good game. You got to do both.
Yeah.
So good for both of them. I'm glad I finally figured out this show. It only took 3.5 years.
Yeah. It was a way too long journey to get to this point, but we finally made it.
Yeah.
It turns out that this show is purgatory the whole time. And now Jake is in charge of the island.
I'm the Hurley of the show. Go back and listen to our Lost episode. What was it called again?
You versus all versus everybody.
Survivor You versus all versus everybody. And see the comparisons between me and Hurley and Jacob, which is my name also.
That was when we were talking like you stupid people wearing expensive clothes.
Well, we are trying to get season 40 to be Heroes versus Villains 2. HVV2 is the...
Every time you say HVV2, I think you say HPV2. You thought the first one was bad, but look out.
It was the virus to end all viruses, but little did they know. I think I made the same joke last time you said that. So let's get that hashtag going. They're going out for their shooting schedule for 39 and 40 coming up pretty soon, based on the trades, which is a thing I read.
The Survivor dirt sheets.
The Survivor trades, the Survivor dirt sheets, yes. So, Heroes vs. Villains 2, I want it to happen. I want it to happen. If you're not going to put me on the show, at least do that.
I need it. We need it.
I need it.
The world needs this.
Like Batista in WWE Raw. I need it. Give me what I want. I need it. So, before we start talking about wrestling, you can follow us on Twitter at WSLN. I said that already, so it's your fault if you didn't catch it the first time.
Yeah, you've had plenty of opportunities. You can follow me at Real...
God damn it.
You can hear me talking about find me talking about all the dirty jobs there and how much I hate unions. You can also follow my alt at TomNotTom.
Stupid. Review us on Apple Podcasts and have a great summer.
Deuces.
Making a distinction between life and law. Odds favor the former when you wear a mask. Massacres informing in the reflection, and I'm trying not to turn into a psychopath. Better to have lost it than to find it tossed out. That's what I'm telling myself. Wasn't I better than nothing? Making a decision about steamed or fried. Wanted to be needed, so I fed my cat. Think I'll keep to myself for the next few days. Feel the best that can be, bottled, smoked a can. Sabotaging life just to find something to write about. Why was it always this way? And did I do it on purpose?
See, saw my mom.
I did in fact see your mom.
Pretty chill. You guys hang out.
I said hi to your mother for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. She was very appreciative of me dropping that thing off for her.
She did text me to say that you are a good boy.
I saw that. I was like, aw.
That was really sweet. All right. You ready to go?
Been ready, buddy.
Oh, we're doing a bottle check at the beginning of this episode.
Don't even talk to me until I've had my own time.
Don't even talk to me till I've had my bottle check.